you haven't even gone through any pricing. You're already selling the product before anything.
Yes.
Do you get objections on clients just saying, hey, I just kind of want to quote?
Well, I haven't had anybody yet, but I'm ready for it, because if you just want to quote, go online and type it in. I'm not the quote guy, right?
Okay.
My job is to get your family covered. Quotes don't pay death benefits, right? Approvals do. So my job is to get you approved for coverage.
Nice.
If you just want quotes, then you can go on. You don't need me, right? I'm quick to do that. I walk out of people's houses all the time. I just walk out. I'm not going to entertain that.
Welcome to this week's Elite Sales Podcast. My name's Albert. Got my co-host today. I got John Bacaron, Vice President of FFL Elite Syndicate.
How's it going?
And we got our special guest for today. We got Brandon Kitchings as a Senior Vice President, Executive Vice President?
Senior.
Okay. Senior Vice President with FFL Marathon. Either way, he's a boss. one of my good buddies. And I'm just someone that I'm always happy to talk to, because he just brings this good energy. And he just always keeps it real. So, he's going to be sharing a little bit with us today. But, we were just talking. I was out the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And I got a chance to watch on the other end. And I'm just it's weird watching what you've kind of like been building.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just thinking like, wow, looks like a whole different. It looks very different on the other side of the camera. But then also, I was just watching you and Marlon and Cliff and Chepe and Jason and who else was on Leanne? Yeah. So I mean, just watching everybody else just run things while I was out, it was very comforting, because to me, I'm like, number one, it's great seeing how much you guys have developed and giving you guys an opportunity for that platform, because I think it's a very important thing. Like all this whole thing we're building it's really so other people that come in behind us have an opportunity to build using our platform.
Yeah.
And they're going to build whatever they want, build however they want, however they see fit. I mean, this is everyone's own respective business. So, it was really cool. And I just, I happened to be out of town the first week because I was at a couple of trainings. This past week, I was in Hawaii.
Nice.
Took my nieces and nephews out to Hawaii before they started school up again. So, I just wanted to spend some time with them, because the thing is, I love what we do. I love this job. I love Family First Life. I love my team. I love working, but the thing is, sometimes you get so caught up in work that you don't spend time with the people that you love. You don't spend time with the people that you care about. So then, you got to keep a little bit of a balance. So while I was out there, I was blessed enough to have this opportunity at Family First Life, where aside from the virtual platform that they just launched, you can, if you're building a team, you can run it from basically anywhere you want with a cell phone, laptop, iPad, whatever. Because the thing is all about communication. It's all about just building up the right infrastructure, building up people around you, giving them an opportunity. So then, you have help.
Yeah.
So I felt truly blessed.
Yeah.
Especially but the nieces and nephews, they're gonna get to the point where they're gonna get a little too old. They're gonna be too cool. They're not going to hang out with their Uncle Al anymore. So, and that's all cool too. I mean, that's part of how we run our business as well. So the thing is, everyone starts off in one form, one iteration. You think about like, hey, we're a team. We're gonna do this thing, but eventually people get to the point where they're like, I gotta spread my own wings and fly.
Mm-hmm.
You're experiencing that right now too, Brandon. So the thing is, everybody, they start to become different versions of themselves. So the thing is, you want to try to appreciate the time that you do have with everybody.
Right.
So, you can get really immersed in the work, which I would recommend if you're trying not to work for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Put everything into it right now for the next few years. I definitely see light at the end of the tunnel. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop working after a certain number of years, because I love what I do. But the thing is, it's nice to have that option.
Yeah.
Or be working towards that option.
Right.
So, I just think, for everything that you have right now, appreciate it. Understand the more work you put into it, the more thought you put into it, the more hustle and grind that you put into it, you're going to get to a point where you're going to understand it better. When people start branching off, like you're at a point where you can run your own agency. You don't need, like, we used to talk a lot.
Right.
And now we talk significantly less. It has nothing to do with personal. Like, we still reach out about personal stuff, but
yeah,
you're at the point where you got to develop your own thing.
Right.
And I'm also not just constantly worried about like, I hope John's doing this and that. I'm like, I don't feel like I really need to do that much anymore.
Mhm.
You just, you know what you need to do. I just step back, let you spread your wings, let you
Yeah.
develop.
And this is going to be a level for you guys where when we level up, you're going to need to create your own ownership, because that's Albert's teams grow. Right now, you have like 200 plus agents, writing agents, right? So once you have your own team, your own logo, your specific team can sometimes not relate or sometimes cannot have that communication channel. So excuse me, I was talking this to someone, and I was thinking, well, FFL has a lot of training. FFL has a lot of, the TNL, our Thursday calls, and there's top producers trainings and sales conferences. So I was thinking initially when I was building my team, I said, okay, well, I could funnel my agents into that mode. They can learn, but it was a portion of me taking away my work and less accountability on my end by letting them think that they can learn everything and just step away. But what you end up finding out, as your team grows and you have more people are getting left by the wayside. People are slipping through the cracks, and we're losing agents that way. So this is where it's a level up. Once you have at least 10 to 20 members in your team, you got to have more of an accountability and even just a personal one-on-one conversations with them. And that's also happening to you, right? Because now we have downlines on downlines hiring. You don't even know who's who anymore.
Yeah.
And you're like, dang, how do I spread my wings? And that's where we got to create a lot of middle managers and build more from that. So we do have a tight connection. And then, when there's aggregators that come around, we have a solid knit in our family that they can't be touched.
Yeah. Wait, so are you saying that if you actively interact and help your agents, they're more likely to want to work for you?
Not more as a work for you, but the person I spoke with, Talise, they mainly agents. She always emphasizes this. They want to be seen, heard, felt, and touched in a sense, right? And so if you're coming in, you're brand new and you have a question, do you want to ask Albert that's in a board member? What if it's something so small? Hey, how do I log into Americo?
Or
right?
do you want to just be forwarded to video?
Right.
Video is great, but that's not generally. Sometimes they just want attention or care or whatever.
And sometimes you just need the quick answer, right? And that's what we're really great at with our group me. Who do I write for this case, right? So as we grow, you got to be able to keep your hand on the pulse and then continue to figure out what is a mental struggle for each individual agent. And it's timing now that my team is growing, and then I'm continually looking to build, $2,000, $5,000 producers to 10,000 to 20,000. And your influence and your touch and your experience will help out with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's kind of a fine line to walk to. The thing is, we care about the people on our team. We want everyone to win. We want everyone to grow. And so sometimes it's kind of like how much involvement should I put upon them, right? So our natural instinct is, we used to think, hey, I'm going to take this agent out. I'm going to take them in the field. I'm going to make some sales for them, put it under them, hold their hand the whole way. Yep. They're really going to appreciate this. Make sure they make some money. And the thing is, you feel great about it because you're like, I feel like I'm directly helping this person. And then most of the time, especially our last company,
man.
The reality was, we make them a few thousand. They all of a sudden they love us because they see that we care about their success, or we care about them as an individual, and maybe not care about their success because they have to have some first.
Yeah.
But they see that we care about them individually. We want to make sure they make money. But then it gets to the point where they become so dependent on us that when the time it's like, okay, cool, got you started, made some money. Now you got to go run this yourself.
Yep.
And then they just don't know how to do it because we never did everything for them.
Yep.
And then
they're used to the teat.
Yeah.
Hey, I was gonna say, the analogy on that is, if you've ever seen, a kid that's been breastfed too long, right?
Yep.
That's right.
Hey. I got you. We're in line, I think.
Yeah.
Yoel gets you. No, so yeah. I mean, and then the other side of the coin is, like Yoel kind of alluded to, you can't, like the whole seen, felt, heard thing.
Yeah,
that doesn't come naturally to you.
No, it does not.
For those of you that
sorry, I'm answer on that one.
That's another thing. Like, we're all developing in different ways, and
right.
here's the thing. Like, we're all going to make a ton of mistakes.
Yep.
A ton of mistakes along the way. So the things, you can't beat yourself up about it because everyone's going to make mistakes. if you want to beat up your upline about not handling it the right way, just understand they're just a human just like you.
Mhm.
They're just trying to figure it out as they're going along just like you. Some might have a little bit more experience. Some might have picked it up a little bit quicker than you. But ultimately, the thing is, as long as there's communication, so what's the right answer? Are you supposed to spend a lot of time with somebody? I don't think that's unnecessarily the thing, because if I continue to spend all my time with John, which I care about him personally,
Mhm.
but the thing is, if I continue to spend all this time just looking over his shoulder, telling him, hey, you should do this, you should do that. Number one, he can't develop his own identity, and which is going to be vital for him building his business big. It's going to benefit him.
Yeah.
It can benefit his family, and it still benefits me anyway. So, and the thing is, if I continue to just hover over his shoulder and tell him every single step to take, the thing is, am I really building anything? Am I empowering him to do anything else? I'm just kind of just keeping him under my wing the entire time, and it actually holds him back. It's counterproductive.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, if I happen to go out of town, if I can't do what I'm doing, I can't tell him to do anything because he doesn't know how to do anything without me.
Yeah.
So that's always going to be the fine line. The thing is, we can't also just be like, hey, just watch this video. We need to spend time with people. So the thing is, my thing is, from what I've learned up to this point, just be available for people. The thing is, there's reasonable things that people should be able to learn on their own. There's tons of resources, as John mentioned, that people can access on their own. So if they're choosing not to do it, that's one thing. But the thing is, we as long as we spend time for things that are important, things that'll actually get people to another level, help them understand the business, help them feel welcomed into the business so they feel comfortable enough to just get started. That's something something that I feel like we should be doing. And that's just my personal take. But there's a lot of people in this group that they're great at what they do. They're great at building. So you got some ideas counter to that, or you have your own ideas. This is where you get an opportunity just to run your business the way that you want. No one's going to stop you from doing it. It's just, I'll be here. I can't support it because I don't personally do it myself. I may not agree with it, but
if it works, it works. Try it out.
You might prove me wrong, and I might be like, hey, what are you doing?
You're right.
How do I copy your thing?
Yeah.
So, it's a learning process. So any thoughts on that, Brandon?
No, I mean, I think you hit the nail right on the head. And it's the same thing that we're dealing with within our agency as well. Constantly trying to help the next levels, level up. As John was saying, reaching down and pulling them up. The ones that actually want to come up. Working with them. To help them achieve that level.
No, I think it's every agency. So there's always growing pains in any business.
Yep.
So the thing is, you'll figure. And I wouldn't even call it pains. I'm competitive. I just always want to get the best results. But there's when things happen, I'm just like, okay, we messed up. So how do we grow from this? How do we learn from this? How do we improve from this? Mm-hmm. That's all we can hope for, and that's all we can work towards.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about, we all fall down. It's all about getting back up and how you respond from the fall, right? And that's what we're asking all of our agents to do the same thing, because like you just said, we're doing the same thing as well as managers. We're human. We make mistakes. We bump our head, and then we just learn from it, and make sure that we lower our head next time we go under there, right? So we don't hit it again. And that's all we can do is just learn from each experience.
Yep. Okay. Well, cool. Well, I appreciate your input on that. So we actually have Brandon on today because he's actually not part of FFL Elite. He's part of a different team with FFL Marathon. Also works for my buddy Steve.
I thought I was an honoree at least.
Oh yeah, you got the honorary title.
Anytime you want to come out, man, we'll film something.
That's right. You're always welcome here. But I just brought that up because the thing is, here at Family First Life, we're a big family, right? So the thing is, even if they're not on your specific hierarchy, things we help each other out. He calls me up sometimes for help on certain things.
Not just sometimes. You tell him.
Yeah. So I mean, I know 100% if I ever need anything, he's got my back. If my people need anything, everyone on our team needs anything, he's got us. So yeah, that's the beauty of Family First Life. And the funny thing is, the reason why we're actually going to have him on to share a little bit about virtual sales, because he's been killing these last 2 weeks with it.
Yeah, that's perfect timing.
He's doing really well. So I don't even know what we call it killing it, because just think about how crazy Family First Life has gotten. Just the numbers that people put up is just it's unreal.
Yeah.
So it's however many leads you want to get, how hard you want to work, how much time you want to put into it, how much commitment you want to put in your own business. That's how much you're able to make. So I won't even say it's crazy, but he's had some success.
Yeah.
So he's going to share a little bit about that. But actually, the reason why we kind of came in contact about this and this came up even, it was just because John had a little mix up with Brandon's hiring.
Yep.
And then we're all trying to build a business here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little bit of a mix up. So what happened here?
Yeah, it's crazy. So Brandon didn't even know about this invite until like Tuesday. And this is how great, with FFL and people within the team, he said, yeah, man, I'll come out. So initially I hit up Brandon because one of my agents that got hired on one of my recruiting platforms over a month now in July was suddenly recruited by one of Brandon's recruiters. And so my agent texted me saying, hey, I'd like to transfer out of Brandon Kitchings' agency. And I said, well, we normally help each other out. And what was there any reason? And the lady was saying that we can get a one-on-one hands-on training out of Arizona. This is where Brandon's out of. And I said, actually, yeah, they can help you out with or without the transfer. And I mean, mind you, this agent hasn't even done any Sure LC. They did the HTMS, completed the onboarding, but never even started. So I told her, like, whether you get hands-on from him or me, it doesn't matter. You haven't started your contracting. But to clear up the air, I go and contact Brandon. I text him. We got to chopping it up. We had a conversation. Perfect timing because Brandon just came out with the 15,000 plus AP over the weekend doing telesales. So he was schooling me on crazy new stuff about how he's selling. This guy's doing, just to add to it, he said he's doing like 90% closing ratio off of telesales. So this guy, I'm thinking in my head, man, he has a lot of things to share. Sean Mike asked him to do a video too. So I said, well, you know what? Well, we have our Thursday call. You're ever interested in coming aboard? He said, yeah, man, anytime. I talked to Albert within like 30 minutes. What about this Thursday? And Brandon said, sure, man. So I really appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming aboard, like short notice, 2 days in. But yeah, would like for you to introduce yourself. How long have you been with FFL? What are you doing now? How big is your team? And where are you headed with FFL right now?
Man, thank you again. So again, Brandon Kitchings, been with Family First Life just over 2 years now. No insurance experience prior to this, coming out of the banking world, and had some good success here. So for last year, first full year, issued 330 personally, and also growing my team as well. And so currently our biggest month to date this year, or last month we did like 270. Our biggest month to date was like 330. So we're definitely trending back up, which is good. Dealt with some things, illnesses and stuff on the team, but definitely moving forward. So right now, just my goal is, continuing pushing forward, pushing on that road to 1 million. That's what I see every morning when I wake up. I've painted it on my wall in my bedroom and on the ceiling. So when I wake up, I just see road to 1 million. That's what it's about, man. Just constantly trying to get better.
Nice. And then during our conversation, Brandon is based out of Arizona, and he was telling me you're selling clients in South Carolina. Is that correct?
Yes. I would say like probably 80% of my sales over the last 2 weeks were all in South Carolina. Right here from my office here. I work out of Grady Poston's office here in Phoenix. So, working here, sometimes I have him come by my window, smiling all in the window and stuff, trying to throw me off my game. But, other than that, just right here from my office, or like I told some other agents this past Sunday, I wrote like $4,000 just right from my bed. Yeah, I never got out of the bed. So, I mean, that was great. And me and my wife, we started kind of breaking things down the last 2 weeks. I've literally traveled, say from my office, I've traveled over 12,000 miles and only went through 2 tanks of gas on my vehicle. So I think, this thing is worth it. I'm usually on a plane every 2 weeks in South Carolina, in Georgia, in Minnesota, for 4 days at a time, renting cars, renting hotel rooms, the whole gambit, the whole 9 yards. And now, I'm just able to just close them right over the phone from my office.
Can you break, like, how do you get to that closing ratio? I think a lot of people are curious, including myself.
For me, it's the one call close. So a lot of my stuff that I do is a one call close. So you ask like how many appointments I ran, I'm counting my one call closes as appointments. So I may have ran set 20 appointments, and I closed 12 deals. 9 of them were one call closes, right?
That means like that was your first call. Like that was your initial touch of like getting them on the phone. Got it.
Yes.
Yeah. Brandon really opened my eyes when he was telling me, tell him about your two favorite movies and what they do in those two favorite movies.
Yeah. So, and what brought this, like what John's saying, what brought this to mind is, 2 of my favorite movies is Wolf of Wall Street and Boiler Room. And anyone, that's watched those movies, if you can remember a time on the movie where they were calling to book appointments, please drop a 7 in the chat box down there, right? But I don't remember them calling people to book appointments, right? They were calling to close deals, right? And so that's my mind state now as well. I'm calling to close deals. So and the appointment is secondary now. Because now what I would like to do, if I could write 2 or 3 apps on my dial day, right, and put up 2, 3, 4 grand on my dial day and book 7, 8, 10, 12 appointments, I'm leaving the office skipping to my loo.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, the setting appointment, I guess, like if you really think about it, only makes sense if you're setting a time for them to be home, so you don't have to drive out there and like they're not there, like if you just set it right, if you just try to sell right there, I mean, you already got them on the phone. That's what they always say.
The
right?
mind state prior to COVID, the mind state was in our sales industry, in our insurance industry, that we have the highest closing ratio when we're doing direct face-to-face sales
and retention, right?
Right. And so we've always had it mentally thinking, dude, if I try to sell you on the phone, you're going to cut me off. We had a bad connotation to that. You're going to cut me off. You're going to charge back. You don't have my face. We don't have the trust. We don't have the rapport.
That's probably true at our old company though.
Right.
Because
but now
you need real leads.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But now go ahead.
I was going to say, and now, like you said, with COVID and the pandemic, that has changed. That has flipped everything on its head, right?
Yeah.
And so what got me doing this, it all came out of, I'm a firm believer of everything happens for a reason. So 3 weeks ago, my father died, right?
Sorry to hear
that. And that's what got me doing this, was because I had to go back to South Carolina to deal with all of his stuff. And I knew it was going to take me out of the field for some time dealing with everything I had to deal with. So it was more of like, what can I do to make sure that my numbers don't suffer while I got to take some time away to deal with family stuff. And so I started calling around to some friends within Family First, out of Family First, that I know that are doing things virtually. And so I just wanted to dig into them and get a little bit more information on what they were doing, because they were having success, even though it may be looking a little bit different to us over here. But once I had a chance to really, and they broke it down to me and started putting things into perspective for me, what it did was it just took the blinders off for me, because at that time I just had blinders on, right? Like a horse. But he took the blinders off, and we started going through some numbers. And some of the numbers that resonated with me was started looking at, the pandemic in last year and numbers from the insurance world. And one of the numbers that stuck out to me the most was 63% for 2020, 63% of insurance purchases that were made in 2020 were made by millennials. Okay.
By who?
Millennials.
Got it.
Was made by millennials, which is, I'm a millennial, I'm 41. I'm a millennial, right? Millennials are the ones, that typically, right now may have the most money spewing out of their pockets right now, right? They have good jobs. They have, they may have families they got to protect. They have liability. So they have things that they have to protect. So that's why they're in the game of looking for their insurance to protect with all the liabilities that they have, right? Gen X's, baby boomers, those are the ones that want you to come to their house, right? They're the ones that's accumulated all these things over the last 50 years that they want you to come to their house so that they can show you their collection, right? But millennials, myself and people under millennials, I know we're always home. My wife and I, we're always home, especially on COVID. Like, we're always home. But the last thing that we want is anybody coming up, anybody random showing up at our house. That's the last thing that we want. We rarely even want our friends coming over, especially now, right? You know,
You gotta
and-
clean, you gotta do this, that. Yeah, it's just not
right? Yeah, I gotta clean. I gotta put stuff away that I don't want you seeing. You know, all that stuff, right? You know, so I don't even want you coming over. You know, right? And so that kind of really opened my eyes to why this is moving the way it's moving. Another one of those things where it said 47% of insurance sold in 2020 was done over the phone in 2020, and that was up from 29% in 2019. That's a significant increase, right? And it looks like the numbers are still going up now that the Delta variant is back out here, right? Now the numbers are, people are just more inclined to doing things over the phone as well. And then we just thought about like, what things are people purchasing over the phone now that they're just used to doing over the phone, and we all can resonate. I don't know how many people on here have met their car insurance agent. I've never met my car insurance agent.
Right. I've
never met my health insurance agent.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Yeah.
Right.
I've never met my homeowner's insurance agent. Yeah. I haven't even met my banker that we opened up an account with over the phone about 3 months ago. Right. I've never even met them. And people now are buying cars from kiosks that's being delivered by a truck that they never even saw the car.
Like a vending machine kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Carvana, right?
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? And I was talking with Mark Mead on his call the other day, and he was saying, he was like, bro, I just bought a jacuzzi over Zoom.
Wow.
Right? So people are okay with doing these things now. So if that's the case, then why are we making it weird? Right?
Okay.
Why are we making it weird and saying, Albert, the only way I can close you or help you at this time is I have to come out there and make sure that you are who you say you are, or that you're not as big as an elephant or chained to a hospital bed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's what we're doing. We're saying that's the only way that we can put any coverage in place for you and your family is if I come out there and verify who you are. Right? And I started thinking about how many deals have I missed, and looking at it like it's crazy. My wife, we went back through last year. I would have hit Hall of Fame last year if I would have been
if you started implementing now.
Yeah.
Right. So what's from, well, I guess your specific presentation now. Okay. So let's go with the nitty and gritty. We're going to be your client, right? You're going to give us a call and go in with your presentation.
By the way, before we start, do you do these sales over the phone, or do it virtually or over Zoom?
I like phone. I don't want to do Zoom again because I rather help you while I'm laying in my bed versus
you just got the earpiece on.
You don't have to put pants on, right?
Right? Yeah.
It's more efficient. You're more comfortable. Your mood will be better. And
Have you done some via Zoom yet, or just?
I haven't done one, brother, and the reason I can say that is because nobody has requested it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get into that because basically all I'm doing now is I'm not making it weird, and I'm allowing my client or my lead to tell me how they want to be closed.
Right. Okay, so let's go in with it.
I'm no longer trying to be the one dictating everything. I'm still dictating, but I'm allowing them to choose and feel like they're dictating, even though I still have the power and the control.
You're giving the control.
It's all in the questions that and how I'm presenting my questions to them to make them think that they're in control.
Okay.
Right.
Let's go in with the role play then. So we're going to be the clients.
All right.
Go ahead and fire away.
And what I would like to do is, just to kind of keep it short, nothing has changed in the intro of my call. So we've all gone through that. We've all heard plenty of calls for the intro, who I am, who I represent, why I'm calling, and verifying your information, right? We've all seen that millions of times. So that has not changed. Where I'm transitioning in my call at this time, and we'll pick it up from there, John, and talking with you. And so I've just verified everything, with you as well. And so now, John, and again, listen to what I'm saying. This is what works for me. The word tracks that I'm using, it may work for you as well. I know it's working for other people, but I'm using it because it is working. I'm getting results. Okay. Mm-hmm. So what I say is, hey, John, due to the pandemic and the Delta variant, I'm currently servicing my clients 3 ways at this time. Okay. Mm-hmm. I can either come out there and sit in your house, John, and we can do this face to face, or we can do this over a Zoom call or via a phone call. Which one of those options work best for you, John?
Let's do the phone call.
Phone. And that's what I'm getting 99% of the time. And I think a lot of it is because how I'm positioning that that offer. Like I'm making that in-home sound like something you do not want to choose.
Right.
Right.
It's also latency bias. Like you say phone call last. So that's the thing that people remember too.
Yes. Yes. You know, and I haven't had anyone yet choose the home or choose the Zoom. And it's been 2 weeks. You know, it's been 2 whole weeks. No one has chosen that yet. Everyone has chosen the phone. Right now, once you choose the phone, now my next transition is, okay, great, John. All right. So if we're going to do this over the phone, John, I need to be fully transparent with you and 100% honest, as I am with all my clients, John. Once we find a plan that fits your needs, and most importantly, your budget, John, we're going to then be submitting a request for coverage to the carrier to see if you can be approved. That's going to require me to ask you for 3 pieces of very sensitive information, which is going to be your driver's license information, your social security number, and your banking information, John. Is that going to be a problem for you?
No, that should be fine.
Okay. Again, that's what I'm getting when I ask that question. I did have one client tell me, I don't know if I want to give you my information over the phone with all these scams going on. I said, brother, I understand. I said, that's why they give the option for me to come out there and go face to face as well. I said, but let me help you understand the process over the phone. Before I ask you for any of your very sensitive information, I will be sending you a picture of my ID along with my state license. So you can take that information, go to the South Carolina Department of Insurance website, put my license number in and verify that I am who I say I am. He said, oh, if that's the case, then we can do it over the phone.
It's all about lowering that hesitancy with the client.
Correct.
And building the trust through the phone.
Correct. Right. And again, as long as we don't make it weird, they won't make it weird.
Right.
Right. So now you said phone and you said that you're okay with providing that information once we find something that works for you. Right. Mm-hmm. All right. So now that that's the case, now my next thing at that time is my next transition is to try to get you to do it right now. Okay. So try to get you to do it right now. So John, if that's the case, if you're available over the phone, if you got 10 or 15 minutes right now, John, we can get it knocked out now. I have about 30 minutes before my next appointment. I can get you squeezed in now. You got 10 or 15 minutes, we can go and knock it out?
Sure.
Bam, that's what I'm getting.
Smooth.
Right? Now, the only time that I'm booking an appointment from that point right there is if they tell me that, oh, I'm at work, I can't do it right now. Or something is going on, I can't do it right now. Or my wife is not here, because I do a lot of mortgage protection. So my wife is not here, my husband is not here. So I can't have both of them right there at the same time. So now we'll move to the secondary, which is booking the appointment. Okay, so when is going to be a great time, John, to get you and when you and your wife could be together? I can get the two of you on the phone, on speakerphone, and I can go over this with the two of you, right? Tomorrow? Okay, great. So we'll book the time for tomorrow, right? Okay. And I had 3 sales where I did have to book that way, and I got the next day, got both on the phone, speakerphone, and covered both right over speakerphone. Okay, all right. But that's the only reason I'm going to book an appointment. You know, other than that, let's get into it right now. Okay, now, so we're good. We're getting into it. You said, okay, we can do it now. So now, John, before I start anything, let me send you a picture real quick of my ID and my license. So I'm gonna text that over to you. Once you get that via text, if you could please just respond back with a picture of your ID, or if you can hold your ID by your face with a selfie, whichever one works best for you, John. Again, giving you options, empowering you to choose how you want me to close you, right? Okay, so now you send that back to me, and now we can kind of jump into things. So the first thing that I'm going to do now that we're getting into the appointment, I can't be on this call with you for 45 more minutes because your attention span is very short over the phone. Right. So I can't be on the phone for another 45 minutes to an hour. We got to get this done within the next 30 minutes, right? So now I'm just going to jump into your why. Okay, let's hit that why. We never do anything without hitting that why. Right. So now we jump to the why. So John, why are you what have you on the market, searching for insurance at this time? Why do you feel you need insurance at this time, John? Right. Digging into that why. Okay, for my family, my wife, okay. And so your wife would be the one that would be picking up pieces if you didn't wake up this morning. Yes. Okay. And what's her name? Oh, Stacy. Okay. And then, and so what does Stacy do for a living? Right. We all know how to break down that why, right? Dig into that why, make them understand why we're doing this. Once you feel comfortable that your why is met, they've already sold you on that. They need you. You've loaded your clip, your 9mm clip with objection, bullets, objection overcoming bullets, right? Now we can put that gun down on the table and say, okay, all right, feel good. Let's move to the next transition, which is qualifying. Okay. So now I'm not going to then go through my sheet and go, so John, any heart attack, strokes, cardiomyopathies, congestive heart failure, defibrillator stents, and TIA, and John, I'm not going to now read through all of that, right? Now I'm going to make it simple. John, on a scale from 1 to 5, with 5 being great, how would you rate your health, John?
4.
4. Okay. If you would have gave me a 5, hey, so that means no prescriptions, no nothing in the last 7 to 10 years. You're perfectly healthy. Okay, great. Cha-ching in my head. CBO, miracle, CBO. But now that you said a 4, I'm going to dig into that. So John, you rated it a 4. Why would you rate your health a 4? What issues you have going on? What type of medications are you taking?
Just minor maintenance medications.
Just minor maintenance medications. Okay. Is that like diabetes, blood pressure? What kind of maintenance?
Just blood pressure, cholesterol.
Blood pressure, cholesterol, but everything is controlled
right.
as well. All right. And then were you prescribed or were you diagnosed with any of that before age 30?
No.
Okay. Right. Digging into again, trying to qualify. Ding, ding, ding. CBO still, right? Still CBO. Now I'll dig in, asking some other questions about any felonies, misdemeanors, things that I know that's on the application, right? That I just need to get answers to now. So when I get in the application, I can just say no, right? All right. So, but once all of that is clear and I know where we want to go, now I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, okay, so John, the fact your health is pretty good, brother. You're gonna have some good options. Okay. What I'd like to talk to you about today, John, is full coverage versus liability. I'm sure you got car insurance. You understand the difference between full coverage and liability. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you understand that full coverage covers everything. Liability covers some things, right? So in looking at your life insurance at this time, I like to, show you a full coverage product. I believe everyone should have full coverage. Okay. If it doesn't work, we can look at other things. But it looks like you can possibly qualify. So now let me get your email address, John. I'm going to send you over this brochure. So I'm going to go ahead and email you over the brochure from America, right? So I can start now talking about those benefits, living, death, living, and cash back. I'm sorry, California, y'all don't have
right.
But for me, now I can talk about those benefits, explain them to you. You're looking at the brochure. What I'm finding, now this is my second time I've sent you something. You got the text from me. Now you got an email from me. Every time I send you something, it's cementing the appointment. It's making you feel more and more comfortable with me that I am legit. Mm-hmm. Right? That I am legit. So now we go over that. I'm at John. Any questions? Any questions about those benefits that I discussed within that plan? Any questions at all?
No. So, but just to cut you off, you haven't even gone through any pricing. You're already selling the product before anything.
Yes.
Do you get objections on clients just saying, "Hey, I just kind of want to quote"?
Well, I haven't had anybody yet, but I'm ready for it because if you just want to quote, go online and type it in. I'm not the quote guy, right?
Okay.
My job is to get your family covered. Quotes don't pay death benefits, right? Approvals do. So my job is to get you approved for coverage.
Nice.
If you just want quotes, then you can go on. You don't need me, right? I'm quick to do that. I walk out of people's houses all the time. I just walk out. I'm not going to entertain that because my time is, I make about $150 to $200 an hour.
Nice.
Is what my numbers break down to. So why am I going to sit there and entertain $0 an hour?
Do you get any objections on saying like, do I have to make a decision today?
No, you don't have to make a decision today. And quite frankly, John, you can't make a decision today because I can't make a decision. You can't make a decision until the insurance company makes a decision. Mm-hmm. That's just my thing. Does that make sense? So until they make a decision, that's when you get 30 days to make your decision after they've made their decision. They may not want you, John.
Okay.
Right.
Got it.
So
get a takeaway from there.
So you thinking about them and they don't want you is a waste of brain cells.
And you already kind of addressed the fact that this was the appointment, right? Like you're not like you could have had the time to set an appointment that like you could have had the time between the initial phone call and the future appointment. Like, does that make sense? Like you essentially are like, if it's that same call, then like, we talked about this. You wanted to, take care of this right now,
Correct. Yeah. And I'll go back to that as well. You said that you were okay. You had 10 or 15 minutes. You want to get this taken care of today. Right. Yeah. And I'm always using that today. Yeah. Right. I'm using, I say that at least 20 times on the call. We're going to get this done today. Right. And just prophesizing that. So, but great question. But great question, John. All of that is before I even talked about any prices. Because again, I don't sell price. I sell benefits and value.
Right.
Is what I sell. Right. So I'm going to hit the benefits, make sure you understand the benefits, make sure you love the benefits. Right. And now we can transition to the next part, which is now pricing and budget. So now that you don't have any questions about it, John, you understand it. Now everything is about making sure we get something that fits in your budget, John. I'm not here today to try to put something in place that's going to have you cringing every month when that payment comes out, John. It needs to be comfortable, right? It needs to be comfortable today, next week, next month, next year, because you understand the importance of what this coverage is providing for you and your family. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's correct. Okay. So, John, when it comes to putting some great protection in place for your family, for you and your family today, what's comfortable for you? And I know a lot of this is different because in the home, I break down the budget. I go through the budget, and I don't let you tell me what you can afford. I tell you what you need to be spending right now based on what you have left. But now this is a little different over the phone. I want the power in their hands the entire time, or them thinking the power is in their hands of them making the choices, right? And again, just telling me how to close them. So now my next thing is, John, you tell me what works best for your budget at this time. Are you looking to be somewhere between $50 and $80 a month, $80 and $130 a month, or $130 and $200 a month? Which one of those ranges works best for your budget at this time, John?
Somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle. So you like between, say, about $100 and $130 a month?
Right.
Okay, that's fair. And again, I'm only here to help you, John. I'm only here to help you get exactly what you need for your family. So let me take a look at some options here for us. I'm probably already pulling up options. I already had Americo up. So now I can come back and say, okay, John, listen, man, I got a great offer here for you at this time with Americo. It's like we can do $200,000 of coverage, John, for $133.68 a month. How does that sound?
So you're going with the highest one because I've already committed 80 to 130.
Yep. You gave me 130 as the height. I'm going to go just above that and test you.
Okay.
And test you. And what I've been getting is people, oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's great. It's just like, I'm like, yeah, it's like $3 more a month. That's not going to break you, right? Oh no, but that's good. I'm good with that. Yeah.
Big psychology in that.
Yeah. So we stay there. Right. So now we stay there. Okay. You're okay with that. All right. So now we just got to get this application completed, John. It's literally going to be another 10, 15 more minutes. And I'm going to have you on back about your day, brother. Yeah, have you back out there playing some golf, whatever else, you had on your schedule. This will be done. Right. And so now my next thing is to start everything. My next question is, okay, John, getting everything started in order to get this process going. Can you please state your full name for me over the recorded line?
And that was it. That's started the app.
That started the app. Now, does that mean anything? Hell no, right? But what I'm doing is I'm using things that I've done for years working for other companies on their phones and things that people have to do to make these processes be legit. That's what they're used to doing. So I threw that in there to say, state your name over the recorded line. Yes, my calls are recorded because I'm using Phone Burner. So they are recorded, but you just state your name over the recorded line to further submit that this is a legit process, right?
And that'd be cool. That'd be cool if you got a beeper, like that goes beep. Just state your name after the beep. Beep. You just made it up with your voice.
Yeah, you get one of those Staples little thing. That was easy,
right? But awesome. I promise that's it. It's nothing. It's nothing crazy. It's very simple. And like I said, I'm just doing a good job of empowering the client to tell me how to close them. So basically what the client has told me, John, what you have told me today is you gave me great things on how to close you today. You said it had to be over the phone, right? And it had to be affordable. It had to be around $130 a month. And you can get it, and you had 10 minutes to get it done. So you've already gave me all my ammunition to close you today.
Right.
Versus before, if you would have told me that you wanted to do it over the phone, I would have said something like, "Nah, man, I got to come out there and verify that you are who you say you are, that you're not hospitalized or bedridden, right?" And then you're like, "Well, we can't do it over the phone. Click," and then I can't get you back on the phone now. I've missed plenty of deals like that. That was my Hall of Fame last year.
Mm-hmm.
Deals that I missed just like that last year. Right. And so just doing a good job of just listening, listen to the client, let them tell you what they want, how they want to be closed, and then oblige.
Right. And then so just from what I'm getting at, and of course, we've already had the conversation. If you guys notice, he's no longer doing 3-option close.
No.
His 3-option close is what's comfortable for your budget, 50 to 80, 80 to 130, or 200 plus.
Yeah.
Or are you even doing financial inventory as far as their income, their work, or anything?
Nope.
Not until the end at that point.
Nope. So see, and this is what I realized is, yes, you're going to give up some things to do it over the phone, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought for a moment, I was telling my wife after like last week, I was like, so it looks like it's going to be a little harder to get bigger premiums over the phone, right? Because you can't really push, okay? However, what I was thinking was, if I can just get anything in place that's comfortable and affordable that they're going to keep, okay. And the guy that opened my eyes to this, I promise you, I'm not lying. He showed me his books from this year. The guy has 4 chargebacks for the year.
Wow.
He has 4 chargebacks this year. I had 4 chargebacks last week. Right? He had 4 for the year. And the reason that is because you're making it a comfortable, something affordable that they chose it. You didn't push it, they chose it. So they're more inclined to keep it. And once you're their agent for life. That means you can now get back in. So I'm just worried about getting the business now. I can follow up next month to get back in again because they trust me now. Right.
So you have some good solidification afterwards then.
Correct. They trust me now. And now I can get back in, and then I can always try to pivot, while I'm on it. Depending on how the call go, you're going to get people that love talking, that you're going to be on the phone with them for maybe an hour because the conversation is going great and they really vibing with you. So that's going to open it up for you to then start talking about those other things, your grandchildren, your kids, what do they got, and stuff like that. That's going to provide that opportunity for you to start talking about those other areas of opportunity for yourself.
Well, let me ask you this question. We know you used to always do in-person presentations. You used to take all the selfies and post it.
Yeah. Which
everyone enjoyed because, that's just a fun part of the business.
Yeah.
But when you start transitioning to this, some of it out of necessity, because you were still going out face-to-face and, in spite of the pandemic, but then, with your father passing, you decided to transition a little bit into this. So when you first started transitioning from being so comfortable with going face to face and then now doing telephone sales, did you bomb a few?
I really, bro, I would love to say I did, but I promise you I didn't. I closed the very first one and I looked at my wife like, what just happened?
I just made money in my chair.
Yeah. Like I promise you, I closed the very first one. I was making it bigger in my head than it actually really was. And the client was just okay with everything. And I looked at her and I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And I could totally see many plausible situations in which people have immediate success if you prepared for them. I mean, you've listened to somebody, you talked to people that have done it first. So, I mean, you were prepared for the situation. You ran enough appointments, first of all, face to face to know what you want to do here.
Correct.
So, I mean, I just asked that question because I know some people are going to try it, some people are going to transition, and some of you guys will probably bomb.
Yeah,
like straight up, you guys will bomb and like fall on your face and eat it hard. And I'm just preparing you for this because not everyone's a Brandon Kitchings, not everyone has that much experience, not everyone has ran that many appointments. So if it doesn't work for you right away, don't worry about it. Like you're going to make mistakes. Like I went over my first 6 here and I knew how to sell, but I was in my own head.
Yeah. I went 0 for 14 my first time out. I was 0 for 14, first time in the field.
Yeah.
I didn't quit.
A lot of things I just noticed though from your conversation, for agents watching to apply, How many times did Brandon repeat my name during that conversation?
Tons.
He kept me engaged because, like what he was mentioning, clients could be doing something else on the phone, but whenever you mention their name, I could be chewing gum, walking down the stairs. If I hear my name, John, I stop, right? And so he re-engages me on that. Second, that I've noticed, he had full control the whole time. He's lining it up step by step and also asking questions to the client. My biggest mistake when I tried this, because when the pandemic happened last year, I did do phone appointments. I had phone appointments where I was licensed in Michigan. I'm here in California. I said, let me go try to book these appointments and go through that. My bombing mistake was I was too informational. I just came in, provided the product, the information, and I had nowhere to go, how to close it. How do I lead them from getting the info to now making the decision today? Because they kept on telling me, okay, got it. Let me call you back. let me mull this over in 2 days, 3 days. Give me a call back Monday. And I was like, okay. I was lost.
Someone asked, how do we verify banking information?
So great question. I just ask them for it. Need your routing and account number and have them provided to you.
Yeah. If you built up that much rapport coming up to that point, it shouldn't be that hard.
Correct. It shouldn't be that hard. And verifying it, you're not going to be able to verify by looking at it like you do in the house. But again, what you got to realize, when we're doing it over the phone like this, the onus is most on the client to be truthful.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The onus is on the client, your client to be truthful when we're doing it over the phone. It's on them. And the fact, if your calls are recorded, like I said, all my calls are recorded. So I'm protecting myself as well. So they can never say that I did something different than that actually happened on the call, because I can pull the call.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess we got a lot more we wanted to ask you. So we're gonna have to get you back on again. We're gonna have some bonus Brandon next time. So
I know the time is digging me. I got a couple more minutes if you had a couple more questions, because I know we kind of got.
Yeah, on the chat, someone said that, is there any difference? Like, are you what's your percentage mortgage protection, final expense, and any difference on that?
I would say out of the sales that this last 2 weeks, I've been probably 70% mortgage. 70% mortgage, and the rest is final expense. I am using the Social First Digital platform, the leads for these phone calls as well. The other 30% was all Social First Digital leads. We spent $644 and $50. We spent like almost $2,200 getting set up with Social First about 12 days ago, and we've submitted. My wife and I told together we're at about 14,000 submitted off their leads so far. She's done about 9,000. I've done about 6,000, off of those on top of my mortgage.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll definitely have to get you on, because we got a lot more questions, a lot more different topics that we want to dive in, if you be so gracious as with your time for next time. Yeah. But, I just wanted to first of all, thank you, because we appreciate your time. We know you didn't have to do it, but, as far as what Family First Life is doing now, we've come from a point which we were doing almost exclusively face-to-face. Sure, there are a few people doing it too in virtual, for a few people doing telephone sales, but the prevailing method was face-to-face. And then, not to say that it doesn't work anymore, because it still definitely does. For a lot of people, they still prefer to do it that way, especially you deal with certain areas. So you got to know the temperature of the places where you're working too. So and so you just got to pay attention, be adaptable. So, what Family First Life has done is we started rolling out different ways that agents can go out and make money. So we're going to continue to develop these trainings, develop these different platforms. And, there's no one single way that works over another. But the thing is, take some responsibility for whichever method you choose to do, whether it's face-to-face, virtual, on the phone. It's not that method doesn't suck, that method doesn't work, because there's people that are doing it all these different types of ways.
Yeah.
So if you can accept that it's you and try to learn and try to get better from that, you'll have an opportunity to do it. If you just keep jumping from one way to another and just thinking it's because that particular platform doesn't work, or the leads don't work, or Family First Life doesn't work, or whatever it is, you can always find an excuse. You can always find a reason, but you also won't have an opportunity to make the type of money you're looking to make. And so, we want to give everyone the best opportunity to do that. So, this has been great, because the last few T&Ls, we've had Ginger going over virtual. We've had tons of people do the in-person, and then for you to share your telephone, your telesales process. I mean, it's been super helpful. So we really appreciate you, Brendan.
Oh man, appreciate you too. Like I said, anytime, back, man. Like I said, I'm an open book. You know me, man. I'm like I said, I owe you, man. You've never told me no when I've called you multiple times, late at night, back to back. You answer the phone. I can see the smile through the, I can hear your smile through the phone. And so anything you need, brother, I'm here for you.
I appreciate you. So we'll definitely have you back, but just wanted to thank you once again for your time, and just continue to keep killing it out there.
Man, thank you, man. Appreciate y'all.
All right.
Have
We'll
a good
see you
one.
soon.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.